Hey everybody, it's me, Russ Shaw, and so you had a bad day.
I had a bad day. You take one down. You sing a sad song.
Yeah, man, doing a update on dry April. Because it's been a bad day, right? Like I think I still got. Look at that. My glasses are covered in drywall dust. Today I had 2 electrical gigs, both of which were unsuccessful. In other words, so this morning I went to this woman's house and I was hired to put in 3 GFCI outlets, and I was a little suspicious of that from the beginning because she said all 3 of them weren't working, and it's kind of suspicious, right? So like I could see if one goes bad. They don't usually all go bad at once, so I wasn't sure what was going on with that. So I get there, and that's another thing. I'm this second gig. Pause on that. Put a pin in that. I'll come back to it. This second gig is in downtown Seattle, and I'm like a few blocks away from Seattle University, which is a big Christian college here in the city. And it's just hardly. I had to wedge Vicky the van in between these 2 cars. I got a Kia Sportage in front of me and a Honda behind me, and I'm grateful for the technology and the know-how that I have to install this backup camera, because without it, I don't think I could fit. It would have took a lot longer, let's just say that, to fit into this spot. But the job that's covered me in drywall dust, I'll get to that. The first job. So I get to this woman's house and I open up the first outlet. There's no power. So I pull the outlet apart. The wires that come into the old outlet, I test the hot, and there's no power to it. So I'm like, obviously I can't install GFCI outlets if there's no power going into this. It's not going to do anything. That you can't put a GFCI outlet together if it's got a line and a load, because you have to diagnose which one is line, which one is load. So if you don't have any power coming in, that doesn't make any sense to replace the outlet. So I said I can try and diagnose if this is a breaker, because I can replace breakers. I know how to do that. But it turned out that each room, like the upstairs, the downstairs, they were all on different breakers. So each GFCI outlet was on a different breaker. I'm in Capitol Hill, by the way. I don't know if you heard about all that stuff on the news, but I'm passing right now. I'm driving by the police station that was burnt and evacuated. So there it is. Check it out. Capitol Hill, 12th and Pine. It's all back to normal again. Look at that. Seattle Police. Capitol Hill is getting back to normal. These poles during the pandemic were bare, which is really weird because bands advertise on the poles. And now it's getting back to normal where the local arts and music community are back to advertising on phone poles, which is totally legal here on Capitol Hill. It's not legal in other parts of the city, but here on Capitol Hill, it is the thing to do. And yes, I digress. So yeah, there was no power coming into the outlets. I told the client this took about an hour and a half for me to diagnose all of this. I told her because I was unsuccessful at completing her task, I would just charge her the hour. See, I'd rather get repeat business. I'd rather have people happy. I mean, in the gig economy, we live and die by the stars, you know? So I just charged her for the hour. And then, so I go to this job, and the guy bought the ceiling fan. I was ready to put in the ceiling fan. I get up there, and I don't have a lot of tools to do drywall stuff, you know? So drywall, I could rip apart the drywall and then try and patch it and deal with all that. But it was just, I just said no, right? So I put in a GFCI outlet for him successfully, and he was happy, and his wife was happy about that. That was another weird thing, is she was coughing the whole time, and we're past mask mandates here, so I wasn't wearing a mask. I get into the apartment, they're both wearing a mask, and she's coughing. So, update later on whether I have COVID or not. I think I've already had it early in this thing in February, but there's been a few variants, right? There's been a couple of sequels to COVID-19 since I had it. Anyway, so that was another thing, just added on to the rough day. But the sun's out for a little while right now, and one of the things I was thinking about was it's more than halfway through my dry April, and it's been a minute, right? It's been probably a few years since I've not done a month-long alcohol-free fasting, or right, like cleansing my liver first of all, and also testing my relationship with alcohol. See, I've been to rehab for alcohol when I was a young man, and there's a lot of people, that would say I should probably never drink again. But I have self-control in that area. I've talked about that before. I believe in that. Like, I believe that blaming a substance for your problems is not helpful. People use, I quit alcohol, started crack cocaine, methamphetamine, getting into all sorts of other things which weren't better. So, you got to deal with what's causing the pain. Sobriety, getting sober, is great. And again, I don't smoke weed at all, so I'm not Mr. That's just my personal choice, and I'm not afraid of it. I just don't have a desire to, don't want to get into it. I'm fine without using marijuana. It just didn't affect my, I've dealt with depression. I've been diagnosed with major depressive disorder, and this is what I was treating with alcohol, and so I'm very sober about that. Sober in the head about not blaming alcohol for my problems. So if I can take a month off of drinking, or a week off of drinking, or whatever it is, that helps me understand my relationship with alcohol. And I don't feel that much different, That's another thing, is scapegoating is a thing, right? Scapegoating, it's a funny term because I'm a theology and philosophy geek. That term, for those of you who don't know, is an ancient Hebrew term. Yom Kippur is a holiday that the Jews celebrate, and they, the idea was, back in the Torah, which, is the Bible, the early parts, they had this ritual where they take a goat or a lamb or whatever, and they would sacrifice, they would kill one. The whole town would show up, right? They'd put their sins, pray for God's forgiveness. They'd put their hands on these two goats or sheep or lamb or whatever they were. And then they would sacrifice the goat or the lamb. They would kill one. But then they had another goat. They had two of them. The other goat was called the scapegoat. And they would bring it to the edge of the village or the forest or whatever, and they would shoo it away off into the forest. Like, you can't come back to the village. You're out. We put all our sins on you, and we've banished you out there. Like, you still exist, but you're no longer haunting our thing, right? Our sins, all the bad and the guilt and the shame, all the garbage that we carried in our heart and soul, we've given to these two goats. One has been slain, one has been scapegoated. Which, on Easter, Jesus is a symbol of both of those as well. The way people think about these things and solve these things, and the way that it's been written newer Christian, not trying to offend anybody. This is just a story to help you understand how I think about my old buddy alcohol. I enjoy a beer, I enjoy a cocktail, I enjoy even a glass of whiskey now. I didn't drink whiskey for years because I was afraid of it. But after doing some of the healing work and therapy and stuff that I've done, I'm not scared of alcohol anymore. So, yeah, you know, and I feel like I wish that I was more. It's my, you know, I'm diagnosed ADHD as well, and I was hoping that maybe I wouldn't forget things and be so, slow down, Russ, like I'm ahead of myself. I get forgetful, I space things out. I mean, I still have, I'm good with clients, I'm good with communication, I'm good with people. So I have over 80 tasks that I've done. I have 1 4-star review. The rest of them are all 5-star reviews. So everybody is good with me. And the guy that I just did this job for, he reviewed me already and gave me 5 stars. So I was able to explain to him the situation and he understood. So that's my dry April. That's how I'm functioning here today, and I hope that makes sense. Almost up to 5,000 subscribers, by the way, on the channel. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and do that. If you're watching this, maybe you're still here. Maybe you want to hang around and see what else I got going on. And I'm going to do a live stream when I hit 5,000 subscribers. Do like a 5,000 subscriber live stream thing. That'll be fun. You can ask me questions live, and I'll answer them the best I can. But yeah, it's been a rough day. It's been a bad day. But I don't want to drown my sorrows. That's another thing. Do I want to go home and drink? Like, there was this little thing, this little guy in my head as I'm walking out of this apartment, shrubbing my stuff, right? I have my tool bag with my drill. Oh, I had a cough. It's a little cough right there. Do I have COVID? You know, the new Omicron. Do I have the new Omicron? I heard there's a newer one that came out in New York. Sequel, part 3, part 4. I don't know. I'll be fine, I'm sure. Anyway, where was I? Not drowning my sorrows. Yeah, this little voice in my head, you know, little echo from somewhere was like, hey, drink sounds good right now, don't it, buddy? It's like my buddy alcoholic. He's like, hey, man, you want to hang out? It's been a rough day. You're covered in drywall dust, and you didn't complete the 2 tasks. You left your clients disappointed as you left their dwelling facilities, their homes. But I'm here, you know. I'm here, dude. We can hang out. I know you weren't going to see me until May 1st, but you know, it's okay. The world will understand. And then I kind of let that go. Another thing I like to do, and something I've learned from therapy and counseling, is just sitting in it. You know? Things are hard. The world is messed up. You can't always solve people's problems. And the fact that, you know, 2 people were disappointed today in something I was hoping I could solve for them, I'm just going to sit in that. I'm just going to learn from it. And I took that time and I breathe, first of all. Breath is a big one. Your breath, your lungs, it's your constant through your life. You anchored in your body to your lungs. Anchored on the outside to the universe, God, whatever you want to call it. Spaghetti monster, whatever you believe. I believe in being anchored to something on both ends. And on my body keeps the score. There's a book by a psychologist about that, and it's very true. Your body keeps the score. You think that everything's in your head, and it's not. Your body wants things. It holds trauma. You have memory cells in your heart, in your arms, in your legs. Things trigger you, a smell, a touch, walking through a certain place. These can all trigger. They're triggers in your body, and they can affect you emotionally. So, I'm very sober to that fact. And so I just walked back to my van. I schlubbed my stuff over there, and I just thought about it, you know. And I just sat in it, in the sad feeling. I laugh now, but I felt really fucking sad. Like I wanted to cry, which is okay too. Like I'm a dude, I could cry. It's fine. I didn't cry, but it was just a bad day, just a rough day, and I don't need my buddy alcohol. It's like, it's cool, dude. I'll call you later. We'll talk in May, just like I had planned. But it'll be fine. But yeah, that's how the day went. Thanks for watching. Until next time. Peace out. Oh, here's some more stuff.